Konnichiwa! We've got a brand new format for this video, and that's because I wanted to chat with you guys directly, with collectors and fans of the Sega Mega Drive here in the UK and Europe, but also of the Genesis in the US. And that's because there's been some things that have happened with us collectors over the last 6 months that's quite nefarious. Something where we're actually being scammed out of our money, and it's something I've been talking about in private with other collectors, with friends, and something happened last month that really made me want to talk about it with you guys. So most of you, or at least some of you, would have seen what's been happening with Wata and Heritage Auctions, where they're basically doing these graded games, you know, those ones in plastic boxes, and then basically fixing the price and selling them for astronomical amounts. Now, that kind of thing, I'm not going to talk about that specifically. That's pretty terrible, but it doesn't directly affect me yet. It will do in the future as prices go up, but it doesn't collect me because I don't collect the Wata stuff. I don't collect graded games. They have no appeal for me. I know it does for some people, and there's some people that have invested in Wata sealed, authenticated games that are probably looking at games that are now worthless because of what's happened recently with them being exposed with the things they've been doing. What I wanted to talk about is something that is directly happening here in the UK and in Europe in the last 6 months. And this isn't like some big investigative reporting, but it's something that we as collectors need to be very worried about and very concerned about happening. And that is, we have our own price fixing happening here in the UK and Europe. And again, I think some people knew about this already. I've been talking to some friends. I spoke to a friend in Germany who first let me know about this about a month ago, 2 months ago, who said that there's a couple of sellers in Spain, not collectors, sellers who were basically going onto eBay with a game that was marginally expensive, you know, games that are around £200-300, putting them up on eBay and then buying them back themselves for double the price. Essentially, they're trying to inflate the value of what these games are worth. And I'm guessing so that in, you know, a couple of months afterwards, they can then go on, sell their copies for these inflated prices. And I was kind of skeptical of what I was being told here, but it really came home to me when I did a video about, 5-6 weeks ago. It was about buying the most expensive commercially available Sega Mega Drive game that you can in the UK. And at that time, it was Pirates of Darkwater. It's been £500-600 for the last 2-3 years. And, you know, quite well documented as an expensive game, but you can still get hold of it. You know, it's not like Celtics versus Lakers or Tetris, like, you know, really rare games. It's a scarce game to get hold of. And so I did this video, and an hour after I put it up, someone sent me a message saying, hey, that's not the most expensive game. It's The Death and Return of Superman. I was like, what? Death and Return of Superman has been like £250-300 forever. It's not a rare game. It's scarce. It's not rare. It's a game that sold at least tens of thousands of copies, and I think it may even hit in the low hundreds of thousands of copies. So it's not rare. You know, it's not Tetris. It's nothing like that. It's just a scarce game, and so collectors pay a kind of higher premium price because not many go on sale often. But yeah, it's been £300, and this game, and I'm just checking it now. This game sold for £829. It's nearly 3 times the market value. And this blew me away when I saw this. Literally, you know, I just put out the video, got this comment, and someone was selling a game that up until 2 weeks earlier had been going for £300, managed to sell it for close to 3 times the price. Now, it might be genuine. Someone may have been foolish enough to pay 3 times the price for this game, but I've got my suspicions. And I think this may be one of those games that has been overinflated, where someone has purchased or got someone else to purchase their game at an extremely high price to push the value of that game up. There's no way this game is that expensive. And, you know, I thought it was going crazy. So I went back, checked past eBay sales. They only go up to 3 months. But I saw one that went for $320. And then I went on to CEX. And CEX are a great barometer because they never update their catalog. They never update how much something costs, at least for like 6 months. They're 6 months behind something like CEX. And sure enough, you can buy a complete in-box Superman, Death and Return of Superman for £300. So here we've got this situation where a game that is expensive, you know, but it's not the most expensive commercial game that you can buy, suddenly overnight becomes the most expensive commercial game that you can purchase. And it's more readily available than some of the other games that are out there. It's more readily available than Wily Wars, than Pirates of Darkwater. Suddenly, it's 3 times the value. How did that happen? Nothing else had sold to make this more expensive. There's no sudden demand for it. So this concerned me. Because it was like, okay, this feels like someone's doing something a bit nefarious. I got no proof that they are, but it felt like it. And sure enough, over the next few weeks, we see more copies come up. Where there'd be like 1 copy that come up a month, maybe, we've now got 3 or 4 copies up on eBay, going for astronomical prices. So I'm just looking here. We've got one. This one here has the cover missing. The cover's missing. It's damaged. It's not in great condition. £700. £700 for a damaged game. There is no way on earth that game in that condition would ever be worth that. Back in, just back 3 months ago, that may have gone for $250, $200 because of the damaged cover. Now it's been £700. Another example. This is even more egregious, right? Cartridge. It's people are bidding on it. £224. The cartridge alone used to go for like £90, sometimes £60. This is going for £224, almost the cost of what it was complete in boxed just a few months ago. And the label is damaged, it's scruffy, it's not in great condition. It is not worth that money. And then just yesterday, I came across another one. I know there's a big seller out there selling his entire collection off, and I'm not saying any of these people that are selling their games now are doing this on purpose, but they are benefiting from something nefarious that has happened within our community. There is a copy now on there that is selling for £1,200. Just think about that. Even if genuinely the market had driven the Death and Return of Superman up to £800, which there's no way it's done that. But even if it did feasibly, how is it now gone or going for, what's that, £400 more? How is it going for £400 more than the last highest price? I have never seen that in any of my Mega Drive collecting. I have never seen a game go so fast up in value. Just a month or two, it is 5-6 times the price of what it used to be. So this really is worrying me now. It's worrying me as a collector. It's worrying me personally, financially as a collector, because I want a full Sega Mega Drive collection. And I know there's expensive games. I know you're going to have to pay for some of these expensive games. But this is someone price fixing us. This is someone scamming us out of our money because they know we want these games. And they are artificially raising the prices of these games so that we have to pay more. Now, I don't begrudge anyone that can afford to buy games. I mean, it's, if there's a super rare game out there or scarce game and you can afford to buy it and you work hard, more power to you. I've been really fortunate with my career that I've been able to buy some really expensive stuff. But that stuff, I know that has always been expensive. It's always been around that price. It's not suddenly gone up over a couple of months. It's maybe gone up over years. And as collectors, we do have regrets, right? We sit there and we think, oh, if I'd only bought that 5 years or 7 years ago, it would be £100 cheaper. Look at this now. You could have sat there and turned down an offer or not bought the Death and Return of Superman in June this year and said, it's gone up by £20. I could have got it for £300. You're now looking at it and saying, it was £300 that I turned down, I didn't go for, and it's now £1,200. That is a scam. We are being scammed out of our cash by someone. There are people out there that are going onto eBay, putting on games, Mega Drive games, buying the games themselves for extortionate amounts of money. Yeah, they'll pay the whatever 10% fee, but that's a drop in the ocean to what they'll be able to resell it at. We have to be so careful as a retro gaming community, those of us in the Mega Drive community, but any retro part of the retro gaming community, we now have to be really careful of this. We can't go dropping silly money on these games because we then become part of that problem. We make it difficult for ourselves and others to collect the things that we love. Like I said, this is not and you know this channel, it's all positive vibes. And I don't want this to be a negative rant, but it's turning out to be one. But I just can't sit here and see this kind of this thing happening to the community that I love, to the hobby that I love. Seeing that level of inflation happening over weeks is just sickening to see. It's sickening to see that. Ultimately, again, as collectors, we know that this isn't sustainable. Someone's going to buy this for £1,200. Maybe they think they're going to be able to make extra money out of it. Maybe they are a genuine collector. But we're going to see it flooded. We're going to see everyone who's got the death and return of Superman putting their games up for sale, hoping to get a big price. And eventually it will crash. We see it all the time, with these bubbles. They ultimately crash because it's not sustainable. But I do have an ask of everyone that collects retro games. If you're a Mega Drive collector, SNES collector, Game Boy collector, it's fine to spend money. If you've got the money and you've earned it and you want to buy an expensive game, that is perfectly fine. But please, don't jump into these ones that are artificially pushing the prices up. You know the price. You know that the Superman game is not worth £1,200. We know it's like $250 to $300. That is the market price for it. It's not a rare game. It's just scarce. It wasn't made in like hundreds of units. It was made in tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of units exist of this game. It is not a rare thing. It's not hard to get hold of. They come up all the time. And yes, it's expensive at £300, but £1,200 is just sickening. It's wrong. We are being scammed. That person is being scammed out of the money. Not by the person who is currently selling it. That person is as much a victim as anyone else. But the people who kicked this whole thing off. The people that went onto eBay, who sold a game and bought it at an inflated price to push the market up. We are being scammed by those people. And we should not fall for it. I know it's hard to turn down that kind of money, especially these days. That is probably that 1,200 is really gonna benefit someone, but at the same time, it's gonna damage our community and our collections and our ability to collect as well. It doesn't help any of us. I'm all for. I know I'm reiterating here, but I'm all for us having expensive games, rare games, scarce games, and there being a premium on those, right? If you want it, you got to save up and get it. That's what I'm doing. I'm selling parts of my collection. I sold a ton of sealed PlayStation 2 games so I could buy one game, and that was Pirates of Darkwater. And I'm happy with that because I knew that price had been like that forever. I don't intend to sell that game. My wife will sell that when I pass away, and she'll go on an awesome holiday somewhere, but I don't intend to sell that game, so I knew what I was getting into. But these prices here, you cannot go from 3, 4, 5 weeks ago it being a normal £300 game to suddenly being 1,200. It's just ridiculous, and it's bad news for not just this game, but for all the games we want to buy. How many people are out there now taking games, artificially boosting the price up on eBay, and then making it more expensive for us to collect? Anyway, I know this has been very different from what we have here at the Retro Gamer Boy Show. I really like to bring you great news about collecting, great news about retro gaming, things that I'm really interested in as well. All the brand new titles that are coming out for the Sega Mega Drive. I absolutely love that. I get so excited when I find out something here. I just love sharing it with you guys. And I love building up my games collection. And I would really am enjoying building up the Sega Mega Drive collection. What's been happening over the last 6 months and more recently in the last month, it's just left a real bad taste in my mouth for those out there who are willing to take the hard-earned money of collectors in an unhonest way. They're being dishonest with us. And they're scamming us out of our cash. There's some people that are going to profit on that. That's not their fault at all. But there's others that have done this on purpose. And I just implore you guys, please don't fall into this trap of trying to buy games way above their market price. Don't do it. Don't buy a game that's double the price it was 2 weeks ago. Just if you do that, it is going to encourage more people to sell. Naturally, they'll want to sell and sell at a higher price. And it's going to price a lot of collectors out. And we may find people that aren't even collectors buying these games up and then selling them on. And that what grits me more is there are people probably out there buying these games who have no interest in them. None whatsoever. They're buying it just to sell it on and make a profit. And with these games, with these old games, I really believe that they should sit with people who really want them. Who really want to play them or have them in their collection or have them on the wall. I really feel that is the magic of any collectors group or any community that collects something. And people that come in with dishonest intentions, they can ruin it for the rest of us. Anyway, that's it. It's probably my first and last rant video that I ever do, but I thought it was important and it's something that I wanted to share with everyone here. So until next week's show, which is going to be awesome, I can't wait to share some of the new things that are coming into my collection with you next week. You can check out these 2 retro gaming videos over here to keep you going.